What's up, everybody? It's Jim, and to celebrate Global Beatles Day, I'll be talking about 1965, the peak of Beatlemania. Let's talk about the studio albums that the Beatles released in 1965. To start off with, you have their fifth studio album, titled Help. It contained songs from their 1965 movie of the same name. Not all the songs are from the film though, only the first side. Let's go through the track list of the Help album. The Help album was released in August of 1965, and the first track on the album is the title track, Help. I think Help is an excellent album opener and one of my favourite album openers and title tracks the Beatles have ever done. It's got fun, upbeat, and energetic instrumentation contrasted with the serious lyrics of John Lennon giving a genuine cry for help. Then you have the song The Night Before, which I think is a worthy second track on the album. The highlight for me is Paul McCartney's vocals, with John Lennon and George Harrison singing backing vocals. And then you got the acoustic Bob Dylan-esque song You've Got to Hide Your Love Away, which is one of John Lennon's best acoustic songs. Then you got the George Harrison song I Need You. I think it's George's best song up to this point, and I think it's a bit of an underrated song on this album. I also love the usage of a volume pedal guitar. And then you have the very country sounding song Another Girl. I think that's another great song on the album. Then you got the song You're Going to Lose That Girl. I think that song's excellent. I love Ringo's bongo drumming on that one as well. Then you end the first side with the iconic song Ticket to Ride, got on their best guitar riffs, and people consider it as one of the first heavy metal songs. I personally don't, but I still think it's a sensational song. On side 2, you begin with Ringo covering the song Act Naturally. I think he does a great job at that one. The song was originally by Buck Owens. Then you got the song It's Only Love, which John Lennon said that it was one of his least favourite songs he wrote, but I think this one is fantastic. It's a short but sweet song on the album. Then you have the George Harrison song You Like Me Too Much. It's not one of my favourite songs on the album, but I still have fun listening to this one. Then you got the song Tell Me What You See. Same sort of thing as You Like Me Too Much. Not one of my favourites on the album, but I still have a really good time when this song comes on. Then you got one of Paul McCartney's best acoustic songs with I've Just Seen a Face. Then you got one of Paul's best ballads and one of my favourite Beatles songs of all time with Yesterday. It's such a beautiful yet heartbreaking ballad. And then the album ends with Dizzy Miss Lizzy, another cover on the album, and this was originally by Larry Williams. I think John Lennon does really good vocals here, but in my opinion, I don't think this should have been the album closer. I think Yesterday would have been a better album closer. But it doesn't stop me from thinking this album is excellent. It's in my top 50 albums of all time, and I'm going to give it a 9.75 out of 10. The second studio album the Beatles released in 1965 was Rubber Soul. It was their first step into musical experimentation, blending genres of folk, rock, pop, and soul. It's a very influential album, even giving Brian Wilson the idea to create his masterpiece of an album, Pet Sounds. It's also influential because the Beatles were using the studio to record the songs in as more of an instrument than just a place that they recorded their songs for the album. This album was released in December of 1965, and I like this even more than Help. In fact, it's my third favourite album of all time, and I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. Drive My Car starts the album. I think it's an excellent rocking song. Then you have Norwegian Wood This Bird Has Flown, which features George Harrison on the sitar. I love the song. I also love the story that John Lennon paints with the lyrics here. Then you've got the song You Won't See Me, which I think's got some of their best harmonies on this album. No Man's one of the classic Beatles songs. I especially love the guitar solo in this one. Then you got the George Harrison song Think For Yourself. I really love this one. And I also love Paul McCartney playing the fuzz bass on it. Then you got The Word. I think this one's fun, but it's not one of the stand-up tracks for me. Then you got the song Michelle. I really like this one. I like that Paul McCartney is singing in French for some of it. Side 2 opens with a Ringo Starr song, like what side 2 opened with for Help, and this one is What Goes On. But this time Ringo Starr's not singing the cover, he's singing an original song that John Lennon and Paul McCartney wrote for him. This is one of my favourite Ringo Starr Beatles songs. Then you got the song Girl. I was never too crazy in this one at first, but it's one that's grown on me. It's now one of my favourites on the album. Then you got A Looking Through You. It's one of my favourite deep cuts on the album. I always have a blast when I'm listening to this one. Then you got the song In My Life. Not only one of my favourite John Lennon songs, but it's one of my favourite songs of all time. I think this song is beautiful. I love every single thing about this song, whether it's the melody, the instrumentation, the introspective lyrics, or the very unique piano sounding part, which George Martin, their producer, was a part of. Then you got the song Wait. I think it's a great deep cut on the album. George is back, and this time it's with the song If I Needed Someone. George Harrison actually took inspiration from the Byrds with this song, and you definitely can tell with the guitar playing. Then the album ends with Run For Your Life. I think If I Needed Someone should have been the album closer. Maybe In My Life could have been the album closer, but not Run For Your Life. In terms of the instrumentation and melody, this song rules, but as far as lyrics are concerned, no, this one's not very good lyrically. That's it for my thoughts on Rubber Soul. Finally, there were two non-album singles released in 1965. That is We Can Work It Out and Day Tripper. I love both of those songs. Day Tripper's got brilliant guitar riff. And then you got the song We Can Work It Out, which I personally prefer. Paul McCartney's part of this song is upbeat and optimistic, whereas John Lennon's part of the song, the middle eight part of the song, is quite somber and pessimistic. So overall, I think 1965 is a brilliant year for the Beatles. It's my favourite year for the Fab Four because they have two fantastic albums releasing this year. They're still touring, and they released a movie, Help. Before I conclude this video, I want to talk about some of my other favourite albums from 1965. You've got Mr. Tambourine Man by the Byrds, which inspired the Beatles' album Rubber Soul. And that's because Mr. Tambourine Man introduced the genre of folk rock. You've also got the Kinks' Controversy, the Beach Boys Today, Bob Dylan's Bringing It All Back Home, and Highway 61 Revisited. But that's just about do it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. I'd appreciate it if you give this video a like, subscribe to my channel if you are new, I'll leave a respectful comment in the comment section below. Peace and love, happy Global Beatles Day, until next time, ciao.